So a couple of tips on introduction etiquette. So introduction in terms of you're meeting someone for the first time in a formal environment, and also it can also imply in an informal environment as well. So the first important thing is that when meeting someone, you definitely want to have a firm handshake. You want that handshake to be confident, especially if it's in an interview scenario, because someone can tell a lot by you just by your initial handshake. Also, you want to maintain eye contact with the person so that they know that you're engaged in whatever they're saying. Another tip is that you should watch out for body language. Once again, similar to handshake, people can read a lot about you through your body language. So if you're feeling a bit tired that day, don't have the "I'm tired, I don't want to be bothered" look. You just want to be professional about it, and whatever, no matter what mood you're in. And then after that meeting, you can be whoever. And just a note on this picture here at the bottom. So there is a lot of literature on body language, and most of the most common distinction is between an open body language and a closed. So usually what that means is that an open body language where I guess you just have yourself sort of out there, you don't have your arms folded or anything sort of distracting from the front of you. So that's usually more invited than if you was to have your arms crossed or any position of that sort. So you usually would like to maintain an open body language. Another tip is regarding how you should greet people. So one thing that you do not want to do just out of respect. So when you're meeting someone and you happen to be sitting down, you actually want to stand up to greet the person is actually more respectable. So in this picture you see that the woman here chose to sit down, but it depends on the situation, but the best thing to do is to stand up to greet the person, which is shown by the next person. If this isn't a case where everyone is already seated, it's not necessary for you to stand up to greet the person. You can just greet them across the table if it's not very far away. And then lastly, you want to make sure that when introducing yourself that you're loud, clear, and that you're not speaking too fast, speaking too slow, and that you at least enunciate your name. So that's all for the introduction etiquette. So for email etiquette, there are some things that you should definitely pay attention to. The first thing is that when sending an email, you want to use an appropriate professional email address. So if you have a funky AIM address, don't use that. Usually a standard is either having your last name, your first name, followed by some numbers. Also, you want to include an informative subject line so that the person receiving your email will be able to just have a sense of what the email is about before they open it. So you want it to be as to the point and direct as possible. As with all emails or any type of writing, you want to begin with a courteous salutation. So the norm is usually "dear." That is, I don't think you can really go wrong by saying "dear." "Hi" can be a bit informal at times. So if it's for the first time that you're greeting them, you're not really sure, use "dear." If they reply to you using "hi," then I would say from that point on, it should be okay to do so. But definitely not "hey." And your email should be short and to the point. You don't want to go into your email blabbering, because some of the people that may be receiving your email may be receiving hundreds of emails a day, and they definitely do not want to sit through and read through a long email. So definitely make it short and straight to the point. Continuing on, when ending your email, similar to beginning it, you want to end it with a proper salutation. So a couple of examples are sincerely, thanks, thank you. And there's also a list of other things that you can end with, but those are the most common. And then you also want to include your name at the bottom of the email. Don't assume that, if your name is a part of your email, that they know exactly who you are. And if it's the first time that you're contacting this person, you also want to include some additional contact information besides your email. So, for example, you may want to include a telephone number that they will be able to reach you at, or an additional email address, or if it's something that you're expecting mail from, then your address, your mailing address. Also, when you're planning on sending someone a huge attachment for the first time, you definitely want to ask their permission on whether or not you can send it, because some people have very limited inbox space or inbox capacity. So you don't want to send a huge attachment that they were not expecting, and then all their emails for the rest of the day get bounced back because their inbox cannot accept any more emails. So when you're sending a huge attachment, you just want to just tell them, hey, I'll be sending you a huge attachment, is it okay? Also, if you're sending an attachment, just to minimize the space that it takes up in the inbox, and also to speed up the sending process on your part, you also want to resize the document or pictures, or if it's multiple stuff, you can put it in a zip folder or compress the document. So, just with everything that you write, you definitely want to proofread and make sure that there's no error in your email. And also when writing, avoid using cap locks because that looks as if you're yelling at the person. If it's something important that you want to say, use bold. Bold is better than cap lock. Or underline it or write it in a different color if you really want it to grab their attention, but definitely avoid from cap locking anything in your email. And then next, definitely leave any IM, instant message, jargon out of your email. It's a formal setting, so no LOLs or abbreviations of great. So you definitely want to keep it as formal as possible and avoid the uses of such words that you see on the screen. So some email servers have the option of sending the email marked urgent, and what that would do is either mark it red when it is sent to the receiving party, or have it be prioritized in their inbox. So you do not want to do this unless it's really urgent, unless it's something that they have to reply to immediately. Because if it happens that it's not that urgent, when the times come when you are sending an urgent message and mark it urgent, they'll just look at it like, oh, I'm sure it's nothing, because the last time they sent it to me, it wasn't a big deal. So only use it if you absolutely need immediate response. Or instead of putting it there, you can also include in the subject line, urgent. When you receive an email that does not require a response from you, say for example, you ask someone for information about something and they send it to you. You want to reply back to them, although it's not a question that you're replying to, that you received the email, just so that they know that the information did get through to you. So that's common courtesy. Also, if you happen to forward a message that you received to someone else, along with the forwarded message, you want to add a brief reason or message on why are you forwarding that message, and just a short description on what that message you're forwarding is about. say for example, someone sends you an email 2 weeks ago, and that is the only way that you know their email address from that email, and you need to send them an email. So if it's a new topic or subject that you're talking about that's different from that previous email that you're thinking about replying to, don't use that email, that original email. Just grab their email address from that email, create a new email, and send it to them.